Welcome to BDO World Hockey. In this edition, New Zealand's Hayden Shaw heads back to hockey after a year away from the game. We preview the Sahara Men's Champions Trophy. Hockey in Africa. It's more than South Africa, and it's moving ahead. And at home in Hong Kong with the island's first full-time hockey professional. Dutch hockey fans have raised almost €1 million in a benefit match in Rotterdam for victims of the Asian earthquake disaster. The game between the Netherlands and the Pakistan World 11 was organised by retired Pakistani internationals Sohail Abbas and Wasim Ahmed, with support from the Dutch National Association, the City of Rotterdam and many of the foreign players in the Dutch League. The event attracted almost 8,000 fans and a live television audience in Holland and across Asia. For the record, the Dutch team won the game 7-4, but the scoreboard was inconsequential. What mattered most was the opportunity for Dutch hockey to help those in need. And Australia has booked a place in next year's Women's World Cup event in Madrid by defeating New Zealand 2-1 in the Oceania qualifying series. After the Black Sticks won the first game in Auckland, the Hockeyroos dominated the return leg in Sydney to level the series with a 4-0 result. Australia then took the series in the deciding game with a 2-0 win to progress to the World Cup, while New Zealand will be forced to travel to the qualifying tournament in Rome.
At international level, when you're playing a team in the top six, you have to work that hard every single game, and you have to work off the field as well as on the field. And they are pretty good, and they're learning, in 12, 18 months' time, this will be a lot better team.
And Argentina has beaten the USA 3-0 in the final of a women's three-nation tournament in Buenos Aires. The USA advanced to the three-nation final with a 4-1 win over Chile earlier in the tournament. It was the final international event of 2005 for the USA women as the team prepares for the BDO Hockey World Cup qualifier in Rome next April. This is New Zealand's Hayden Shaw. He is one of the most potent exponents of the drag flick in world hockey. And this is Hayden Shaw, the cricketer, a medium to fast bowler playing first-class cricket with Canterbury.
Oh, he's bowled him! That is a beautiful delivery.
The last 12 months have been something of a juggle for Hayden Shaw, who stepped away from international hockey, hoping to forge an international cricket career.
I just want to be a double international, and also just the fact that I didn't want to end my sporting career saying, what if? I've played a little bit of first-class cricket. I actually played first-class cricket before I played first-class hockey, and yeah, it was just, I didn't want any what-ifs, and I want to be a double international.
And respected Kiwi commentator Ian Smith saw some promise.
Hayden Shaw, interesting sort of cricketer, I find. He's a very strong guy, very powerful, medium-paced bowler. I wouldn't say he's quite quick enough to threaten at international level this year, but what he has got on his shoulders is a very good international-type brain, because he succeeded so much in terms of his hockey. Very powerful man. We could see that through his hockey play as well.
But after 12 months away from hockey, Shaw is coming back to the sport and will be part of New Zealand's campaign in the Oceania qualifying tournament for the World Cup this month.
I'm really enjoying it. Had pretty much a full year off playing hockey and getting back, and I actually feel I'm playing better than what I was when I was playing for New Zealand, and I'm still scoring a few goals, so no, I'm enjoying it there.
Shaw's potent drag flick on penalty corners will be a key to New Zealand's fortunes. It's something he chose to develop himself.
No one else had really done it, and I wanted to do something that no one else had ever done, and especially in New Zealand, and it just turned out to really take off for me. And I suppose I know I go around and some people know that I know Hayden Shaw in relation with the drag flick, and they don't even know I play hockey, so I suppose it's quite a catchy thing as well.
And while he's modest about his ability, he doesn't mind the attention.
I like the responsibility when we're playing. This is one of my strengths, but also my weaknesses, because I know when I play a weaker team and I'm not really needed to win the game, I sort of go off task a little bit, whereas when the big games come and the big time comes and I'm there and I'm needed to win the game, that's what I love, and that's what I want to do.
For Hayden Shaw, the World Cup is the immediate goal, followed by the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008.
Of course, the Olympics is, even since I was 5, has always been the ultimate, and I've been there. I set high goals for myself at the last Olympics that I didn't quite succeed at, but yeah, this is the next Olympics may still be a possibility.
And there's another goal. Shaw's younger brother Bradley is also in the New Zealand training squad, and played in last year's Champions Trophy.
If I was to say one thing in terms of a personal thing, it would be awesome to play at Olympics with my brother at fullback.
And beyond hockey, Hayden Shaw wants to teach. He graduates this year and looks forward to working with young people.
I've definitely got a passion for it. I just love I love seeing people succeed from my help, and in terms of with the kids and all that, I just love mucking around with the kids. I suppose I'm a big kid at heart, and yeah, I really do enjoy it. And I suppose at the moment it's almost on an equal with my sport, the way that I enjoy it. And yeah, I graduate in November, so yeah, looking forward to that.
Coming up on BDO World Hockey, African hockey on the move but facing a range of challenges. And a veteran's celebration of long life. It's the hockey that keeps them young at heart. Arif Ali is Hong Kong's only professional hockey player. He's the youngest of 4 hockey-playing brothers who made history at the Asian Games in Bangkok in 1998. Never before had 4 brothers represented their country at the Asian Games. But Arif, the undoubted star of Hong Kong hockey, also plays in leagues in Singapore, Malaysia and in England. He grew up learning the game on these narrow streets in his small Muslim enclave in Hong Kong.
Basically, I didn't have much time of training on the pitch, but we always been training here, playing on the wall, playing myself, and watching the older people play, and how I pick up from watching them play. Then we just keep going on from there.
He trained every day after school, developing and nurturing his skills.
Yeah, definitely. This is where we love playing. Actually, we enjoy playing here a lot because it's so bumpy, and we got the wall, and you don't have 11 play against 11, so the wall is like your teammate. So just doing 1-2 there, and yeah, this is where we practice our skill.
The Shelley Street precinct offering the perfect environment for the young Arif.
Yeah, for my real family, they're all in Pakistan, not in Hong Kong, because I'm born here. But people here, I know them since I was born, and they're just like my family friend, and I just treat them like brother, sister, or my parents. It's just like a whole big family, and we just always feel more special living here than outside. So it's just a really special place for us.
Arif Ali also plays First Division football, but chooses hockey as his professional career path.
The reason I prefer hockey because I think it's all from the history that I was involved, and the more I play, the more competition I play internationally, I just start getting more addicted in it, and then just enjoy it more, and it's just a lot of challenge in there. But football is not easy to get into. It's not getting into the national program or the youth programs.
Arif's precocious talent was on display in this recent game in Singapore, when he ran almost the length of the field in a strong solo effort to score against Korea. At 24, he can play for another 5 to 10 years. Beyond that, he sees a professional coaching career.
I started coaching back 5 years ago. We started with 7 kids, and then, but from every year the growing, and now I think there's more than 70 kids there, and it just helped me better in the future, building a big group of good youngsters. So it helped me better when I retired.
But before retirement, he wants to build a business that will help to get more people in Hong Kong playing hockey.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a company, but basically like a coaching company, but more I'm focusing on hockey stick, because I want to because I found out the hockey sticks are really expensive now these days, and it's difficult, especially in Hong Kong, to attract new players into hockey. So try to provide good quality but a cheaper price, so more people can enjoy better quality and a cheaper price, so more people will start playing hockey in Hong Kong.
The Australian men's team have returned to the top of the Sahara World Hockey rankings after Germany slipped down the table. The Netherlands move up to second place after reaching the final of the European Championships in Leipzig and now sit less than 100 rankings points behind Australia. Germany slipped to third after failing to defend their European title. Spain was the biggest improver on the men's table, the European Nations Cup win elevating them 2 places to 4th. Pakistan have dropped 1 place to be 6th, and their Asian neighbours India also dropped 1 place, but both can gain points at the Champions Trophy in Chennai in December. Korea are currently 7th in the rankings, thanks to their top 8 Olympic finish, while Argentina are 8th after beating Korea in the Champions Challenge. New Zealand are 9th, still holding points from last year's Champions Trophy, and England round out the top 10. In the women's rankings, the Netherlands' European title in Dublin cements their grip on top spot. Pan American champions Argentina are close behind in second place, and Olympic champions Germany are now third after a silver medal at the European Championship in Dublin. Germany's rise up the rankings has been at the expense of the Australians, who dropped 1 spot to 4th. And China hold 5th after their performance in Rosario last year and their semi-final berth in Athens. New Zealand's win in the Champions Challenge puts them in 6th place. Japan have moved into 7th place in the rankings, ahead of England, who are 8th. Korea fall to 9th, but will gain points by competing in the Champions Trophy next month, and Spain round out the women's top 10. Last month, our master coach, Rick Charlesworth, tipped the Netherlands and Australia to make the final of the Women's Champions Trophy tournament to be played in Canberra later this month. Now Rick turns his attention to the men's event scheduled for Chennai in India from the 10th to the 18th of December. It's the first time India has hosted the event since 1996.
Well, Australia have got Athens behind them, some good form in the Aslan Shah, a bit of a hiccup in Amsterdam, surprisingly beaten by Pakistan. That might have just shaken them enough to make sure that they're not complacent. They'd have to be the favourites in my view. They'll go there with a great deal of depth. Even without Elder, I think they're a dangerous team. You'd have to think that the return of George and with people like Dwyer and Schubert there are great finishers. They're very dangerous. The question for Australia will be, can they score their corners? If they score their corners, they'll win. Well, I think on form you'd have to say Spain are a team that's a good chance to be in the final. What you like about Spain is the potency of their attack. They've got Frazier, Tubau, Alegre, Sojo, Amat, 5 really dangerous people at the front. I don't think any team's got that sort of potency. Their defence is usually pretty solid. They'll be well prepared, and I think they're a chance to be in the final. Pakistan will be tested in the sense that they won in Amsterdam. Was that an aberration or is this a renaissance? Are we seeing the Pakistanis rise again? I suspect that they're a bit more fragile than that. Abbasi's a wonderful player. They've got some pretty good defenders. Salman Akbar is a great goalkeeper. But I don't know that they've got quite the solidity, quite the depth to reproduce what happened in Amsterdam. One never underrates the Netherlands. The Netherlands, you keep suspecting that there's going to be a slide, but they come up with solid teams. They've got the great De Nooijer. Perhaps his powers are fading. If Evers can't fill that gap and Takema can't score the corners, then they could struggle. But they're very, very competitive. Maybe they're due for a downer though. Some of us have been worried by Germany's approach to this tournament, and perhaps it's been a little bit cynical, but I think they'll go to Chennai with a serious team wanting to win, because the World Cup's getting close and that's their target. They've been experimenting this year. They didn't make the final in the European Championships. I suspect they didn't win in Hamburg as they expected to. I would suspect that they'll put their best team on the park. Someone like Kroner is the rock around which the team is built. But whether or not they've got the firepower that they had in KL a couple of years ago is a question, and we'll wait and see, I think. Well, India are enigmatic. There's no question about that. They've got some wonderful players. The two Turkeys, Dilip Turkey and Ignace Turkey, are great defenders. They've got good goalkeeping. They'll need it, I think. Thakur and Gaganajit, can they make the difference that with their return? That's the question. One would be thinking that at home there's going to be some advantages for India, but if things go bad, then the crowd could turn on and it could be very, very difficult. I can't see them getting in the medal round because I think the other teams are going to be taking this tournament seriously. I don't think last year in Lahore they were. I like Australia playing Spain in the final.
The Africa Cup of Nations, this year's event, a joint men's and women's tournament at the University of Technology in Shawane, formerly known as Pretoria. The Africa Cups serve as qualifying events for the Men's and Women's World Cup tournaments in 2006. And while many hockey-playing countries enjoy plenty of international competition, the African nations tend to struggle. Distance, infrastructure and financial restraints are the major stumbling blocks in the development of African hockey. But despite the challenges, 5 countries entered the 2005 event.
To improve hockey in Africa, we need to play against each other. I think you have seen the big difference between the performance of South Africa and the performance of Namibia or other teams. And we hope next time we will have more teams.
Missing from the event were Zimbabwe, the Olympic women's champions in 1980, and Kenya, a leading African hockey force in the 60s and 70s. But it was promising that Nigeria, Ghana and Namibia all managed to send their ladies and men's teams to the event. Egypt and South Africa remain the leading male teams, and South Africa continue to dominate ladies hockey on the continent. But the likes of Nigeria, Ghana and Namibia are slipping further behind, leaving African hockey with some serious challenges.
In order to take some quantum leaps and reduce the divides between the various countries, we certainly need further assistance with additional artificial pitches outside of Egypt and South Africa. There's a real dearth of pitches. And we also need, with the input of Olympic Solidarity and other funding, we need to do a lot of work assisting the countries in technical areas, developing coaching skills, developing umpiring, developing their players, and right from youth level through to the more senior levels.
Ghana is a prime example of just how much improved facilities can contribute to hockey development. Ghana's players got a sand-based pitch at Accra just 2 years ago. In the Cup, their men held Egypt to a 4-2 victory and scored 5 against Namibia to finish 3rd in the pool standings. They then beat their arch-rivals Nigeria in the playoffs for the bronze medal to confirm their position as the 3rd best men's team in Africa. The women went one better to clinch the silver. What Ghana needs to continue improving is more international exposure.
It's only when there's a tournament that we have to take players to camp 2-3 weeks to competition. It's not very good. So I think that a lot more games will expose the players and experience will also, come in. So I think you are saying the right thing.
Nigeria almost caused the upset of the tournament when they took the lead against Egypt. They eventually lost 2-1, but showed that with regular exposure to better quality competition, they can become a force in African hockey.
After these competitions now, we hardly have any other major tournaments until the African Games, so we go back to the drawing board, we go back to the grassroots and try to bring on more players. Most of these players are playing perhaps their last major internationals. So we're looking at the under 21 side and age group teams. We're trying to work on that, and I'm sure that we'll come out with a more and better Nigerian side in future competitions.
So Namibia proved that despite a lack of facilities, growth and success are possible through dedication and commitment. And while South Africa dominated the event, the other participating nations showed that with improved facilities and assistance, the future of hockey in South Africa shows great promise.
If these fellows don't appear to be moving as quickly as the average hockey player, look a little closer. It's the final of the Australian Veterans Championships being played at Unanderra on the south coast of New South Wales. They're the super heavyweights, the oldest category, the over 65s. They refer to the under 50s as juniors. There's no upper limit to age. Victoria's Alec Rodriguez tops this lot at 78. They've been playing all week. Western Australia in gold and black has dominated the tournament, conceding only 1 goal. Most men this age would prefer something less strenuous like fishing, but hockey and mateship brings them back year after year. Some come from elite hockey backgrounds like Edgar Fernandez, a 1960 and 64 Olympian for his native Kenya.
I think the most important thing about the game is just the comradeship and the friendship you make. And we play it hard when we're on the ground, but after the game, it's great, you know, because you played against friends, and over the years, I think it's fantastic, really.
70-year-old Max Stewart has been a state representative and looks like he'll play until he's 100. Is there a use-by date?
I don't know. Well, we started hockey in Bets in 1980. We played over 40s. We went to over 45s, over 50s, 55s, 65s. Maybe we'll play over 70s. We don't know yet.
But many are like Ron Venables. He took up the game late in life and loves it. Now Ron's a regular member of state and Australian veterans teams, a star in his twilight years.
I trained and coached junior hockey. I never played for about 20 years, and then they started the vets, and they said, get out that armchair and come and have a start, and I've never stopped since then. So it's been continual, interstate trips and overseas trips. So it's been fantastic.
An opportunity he never dared to dream of.
I remember getting my first shirt with my name on the back of it, and I got an Australian towel with a name on it. I thought it was Christmas.
They play it tough. After all, there's a national title on the line. But it's a game played in the best possible spirit. When you've been playing the game as long as most of these fellows have, you can expect your fair share of injuries. But it's not just hips and knees and ankles. 3 players in this game alone have had heart bypass surgery. Malaysian-born Bala Chandran counts himself lucky to be alive, let alone play hockey. He was once pronounced clinically dead on the pitch.
In 2001, I was practicing to go to Melbourne for the Australian Championships, and I just dropped down with a heart attack. And I was revived by 2 doctors. I was very lucky to have 2 doctors on the field.
After open heart surgery, he was back playing a year later. He claims they just weren't ready for him in heaven.
They shut the gates on me. Peter said there's no vacancy for you, so you better wait till I open the gates and let you in next time.
Despite spending 75% of the match attacking their opponent's goals, Western Australia could not find the back of the net. The match ending in a 0-0 draw.
In the words of the umpire, he said we were 2-goal better side.
The rules of the championship state that the result should be decided on penalty strokes. But when you're 65 plus, you make your own rules.
We've decided that it's ridiculous at 65 to go to strokes, so we're going to share it.
So for the first time, the Australian Veterans Championship has joint winners. The celebrations commenced immediately after the match. Not bad after an 8:30 a.m. start, but the pitch had to be cleared to allow the young ones on.
Before we go, congratulations to all involved in the recent BDO World Youth Hockey Promoters Festival, held in Santiago during the Women's Junior World Cup. The festival brought together 44 youth hockey promoters from 25 countries, giving them the opportunity to exchange their knowledge and compete for the honour of being named World Youth Hockey Promoter for 2005. Each of the group were involved in a week-long festival where they presented a youth-related project, either one to which they'd contributed or one for which they had a vision. 6 finalists were selected from the presentations during the week. Chloe Guy of Wales, Jane Cronin of Ireland, Andrea Ballet of Argentina, Michael Steinman of Germany, Luindile Similane of South Africa, and Nico O'Connell from New Zealand. Those 6 had to present their projects to an international jury, and it was Germany's Michael Steinman who took out the title. But the consensus was that everyone who participated had been a winner.
the workshops we do here, they gave me much of experience what I could do in my club, that hockey runs bigger.
On the BDO World Hockey calendar, the Samsung Women's Champions Trophy is scheduled for Canberra late this month. And the Sahara Men's Champions Trophy will be played in Chennai in December. The Oceania Cup men's event was scheduled for mid-November in Suva and will have the details in next month's program. And Argentina will host a men's four-nation invitation tournament at Rosario next month, with teams travelling from Belgium, Chile and South Africa. The Argentine women will host a similar tournament at Mar del Plata in January, with teams visiting from Australia, England and the Netherlands. Coming up next month on BDO World Hockey, we'll be in Canberra, Australia's capital city, with all the highlights of the Samsung Women's Champions Trophy. And at home with a very special sporting family, generations of Jamisons playing for their country.